Before listening to this commentary, I wanted to add in this disclaimer that yes, this video was recorded about 6 days before Trump's inauguration and about 7 days before he actually officially really took office and started making all these executive orders. And one of them was pardoning those who were involved with January 6th. And I said to myself, should I upload this commentary or should I just scrap it? And I said, you know what? I spent too much time working on this video, editing it. I'm gonna put it out there anyway. So just really listen to the commentary, even though it probably sounds like, oh, this didn't age well and whatnot, but I'm gonna still add it in there. And I'm gonna also add something in at the end of the commentary as well to kind of maybe possibly put some things into perspective after the fact.
President Trump says there's a process. Where is the line drawn on who will and wouldn't be considered for a pardon?
I think it's very simple. Look, if you protested peacefully on January the 6th and you've had Merrick Garland's Department of Justice treat you like a gang member, you should be pardoned. If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned. And there's a little bit of a gray area there, but we're very much committed to seeing the equal administration of law. And there are a lot of people, we think, in the wake of January the 6th who were prosecuted unfairly. We need to rectify that.
Listen to me when I tell you that this is more proof right here that MAGA has lost the plot again. Now, if y'all remember, I did a video. Well, I don't know if it was a video or, it was a video when I was talking about how MAGA doesn't read between the lines. They were getting mad or upset with Trump when he said that he was going to release the January 6th individuals on a case-by-case basis. Like, this was known, like this was public knowledge for the last couple of months, but they didn't see that, or they saw it but didn't want to hear it. All they heard was, we're going to release every last person who was involved in January 6th because that's just the American thing to do. Or I've seen comments saying, oh, they've suffered enough, why are they still in jail? And to which I replied with, I said, there are black men in jail for crimes right now for decades. Some been in there since they were in their early 20s and lost all of their youth behind a crime they didn't commit. But I don't see the public outrage for that, at least from people like them. But then again, I don't expect it. And you want us to cry about this? Good luck. And they said, again, case by case basis, which you can't even be upset at, because there are some people that probably shouldn't have that much time, but there are probably way more that should deserve to be there. And it is what it is. Which brings me to this post right here, because this is how I retrieved the video. And also shout out to KG because he put it in our group chat. The Hodge twins. Now, these are two individuals right here who are so entrenched in the grift and overstepping their boundaries. This is the definition right here of doing way too much. And why I say that is because even when I was looking through the thread, through the comments, even through the reposts, mostly, there were people saying, okay, like, y'all are doing too much. Like, what are you doing? In so many words, that's what they were saying. They weren't necessarily saying that, but you get the drift. They posted with this video y'all just saw, MAGA gonna turn on JD Vance faster than we turned on Mike Pence if they only pardon some J6ers and not all. And we're sitting here saying to ourselves, already they messed up with this post, because why are they getting upset with JD Vance? JD Vance is only the vice president. The vice president barely has any power. He definitely doesn't have any pardoning power. So if you want to talk about pardons, you have to go directly to the president, and the president is Trump. So why y'all getting mad with JD Vance when all he did was echo the same exact things for the most part that Trump said back in like September or whenever it was, when he said that they was going to do it on a case-by-case basis? They would be silly to release every last person that was involved with January 6th all at one time. That would be a disaster waiting to happen. It really would. So no, that's not going to happen. Will some of them get released? Yes. Will some of them not? Also, well, some of them won't. Yes, again. There it is. So just that's all you can really boil down to. And of course, there was some under the post that also lost the plot along with the Hodge twin. This person right here, Gunther Eagleman. And I think I don't know if I talked about this person before, but I think KG has brought him up before, but the name sounds very familiar. He just puts pardon them all. Because 9 times out of 10, I bet you if any of one of the ones up here saying they need to be pardoned, they would have been out there right along with those individuals doing the same exact thing. Makes you question why none of them went out there that day. And let's see if anyone would have fought for them. But anyway, here's a response from the Hodge twins. I believe if you look at the context of the post, someone was talking about cops. Like I said, there were some people under the post that was telling them, look, they have to do it on a case-by-case basis, but they were even going back and forth with people underneath their posts. And this is one of the responses that stuck out to me when I was looking through it. They said cops shot people with rubber bullets and tear gas, then beat the hell out of them. Those cops deserve to get punched in the face for assaulting innocent people. Pardon them all. Now you're making threats of what should be happening to cops. I hope they're making a note of what the Hodge twins are putting out there and what they're trying to, because some people will look at this, at the initial post that you saw, that where the video came from, and saying that they'll turn on JD Vance. They could look at them as trying to incite something. Now let's just hypothetically say something was to happen to JD Vance. God forbid that it does, but let's hypothetically say that it does. They can look back to this post right here, not the one on your screen, but the initial post of what the Hodge twins said, and say, oh, they're the reason why this happened. They don't have to look anywhere else but that one. Why? Because the Hodge twins have a following. A lot of people like their rhetoric. They push a certain propaganda, a certain narrative, especially for that side. All they have to do is something was to happen to JD Vance, or certain people say certain things to put him in or his family in harm's way. They can just look back at what the Hodge twins posted and say they were the cause of it. And then what they're going to do? This is why this is how you know they don't think. They are not smart, nor are they intelligent. Here's another post right here. They say all J6 protesters were political prisoners and none were given a fair trial. Even those charged with quote unquote violent behavior, many of these charges were fabricated. Free them all. See, again, another person with a hive mindset. That's basically all these individuals have. The ones who are talking like this, they have a hive mindset. That is what they think. That is what they believe. They believe not. If anything, they probably want to believe that none of them were violent. Remember, they said they were going up there to tour. Like I said, I've been on tours before. Never have a tour looked anything quite like that. But they keep telling themselves this stuff and they internalize it and they run with it. They go with their so-called flow. And this is what it turns out to be. And there's one last post I want to go over. They said, I have not found one J6 case where the DOJ and its FBI did not embellish an outright lie about events and acts. Judges ignored self-defense despite illegal assaults by law enforcement on protesters, laws abused, use of directed energy weapons, and still a question. Pardon all Fed malfeasance. Now this is a person right here who believes that all of them should be pardoned. They said they haven't found a case where the DOJ and the FBI did not embellish. So they believe that the FBI and the DOJ did certain things to make it where all these individuals who was involved, who got arrested and charged, and some of them went to jail, they think they did that to just all of them, and that they didn't do their job properly. But apparently this Stephen Stewart Country Law PA looked at everything, which I doubt they did, and said, oh, they were arrested and they shouldn't have been for any wrongdoing because none of them were wrong. Y'all, this is why KG always says the white vote will doom us all. This is exactly why he says that. This is exactly why he says that. Shout out to KG for coming up with that quote, because that one is going to live in infamy. This is a perfect example of that right here. These are the people that voted for 45, Trump and JD Vance. This is him. This is their base right here. They going to be going on and on about this for a while. They're going to be talking about even more, probably heavier than when it initially happened. They going to literally hard press onto this, and watch what's going to happen when they don't get their way. They going to get upset again. I mean, after all, look at how the post was framed. Going back to what they said, MAGA going to turn on JD Vance faster than we turned on Mike Pence. And we remember what happened when they turned on Mike Pence. Mike Pence was almost in a very bad situation because of that. if they only pardon some J6ers and not all. Like, really think about that. And by they, I'm talking about the Hodge twins, because this is their post. You can see the screenshot. That's the same video where they stated that they would turn on JD Vance. My question to the Hodge twins is, because I don't think anybody asked them, I don't know if they'll see this or not, but I don't really care. When you say turn on JD Vance, what do you mean by that? Inquiring minds would desperately like to know. What do you mean when you say that? Because we saw what happened when they turned on Mike Pence. We saw what they meant when they did that. So what do you mean when you say that to JD Vance, a person who has no pardoning power whatsoever to bend to the demands of pardoning all these J6ers, as y'all call them? None. But I'll leave that up to them. But remember what I said: if something happens to JD Vance and they bring up J6, they're gonna look back at this post, and it is what it is. So, as stated at the beginning of the video with the disclaimer, I had to come back and add this part, and I'm actually putting this in maybe like the day before I set to upload the actual video. So it is February 2nd, so it's very recent. As you can see by the turn of events, they ended up pardoning them, all of them. They didn't do the case-by-case basis like they said, that claim that they were going to do. And it makes you wonder why they actually did that. Now, of course, there's going to be many speculations as to why, but when you go from case by case and then segue into, oh, I'm going to just pardon all of them, and then you see what's been happening so far with at least 3 of them, is like, it probably would have been in the best interest to keep the ones who was locked up still locked up and not pardoning all of them. I sometimes get twisted up with that word, but it makes you wonder, was it pressure from the supporters in order for them to do this, or whatever the case may be? But I'll leave that up to your own interpretation.